Hello, my beautiful friends, and welcome to Tailor Made Beauty by Kris. Today's video is the first of my Best of 2019 series, and today I'm going to be talking about my favorite foundations, powders, and concealers from the year. So let's start off with foundations, and I gotta say this year was like the bumper crop of foundations I fell in love with. And so it took some doing to narrow down my favorite, and I did limit myself to 5. I gotta say, I think if I had to just grab one, it would be Stila Hide and Chic. I really love this foundation, and I gave it a glowing review in my video, which I'll try to remember to link down below. And it's just, I'm just loving it more and more every day. It wears easily, it goes on great. And yeah, and I'll be curious. I am finding that my favorite foundations change from winter to summer. So maybe in the winter, it's great because I find it a pretty hydrating foundation. We'll see how it is in the summer, but for now, she's my gal. Really love it. I also find myself reaching for Pat McGrath's foundation. This was a new release this year, the Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Foundation. I should tell you what shades I'm in, right? I am a shade light 4 in the Stila, and in Pat McGrath, I am light medium 9. Now, this goes on like a dream. It looks like skin, but better. If I just want to feel good, I put this on. I'm loving it. I will add as a side note, I did not love the primer, nor did I love the powder, but the foundation, Pat got it right. All right, then another one I find myself reaching for quite a bit recently is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. I have this in 4.25, but I also know that 4 would have been okay, especially in the wintertime. Again, flawless, go-to, easy to put on, don't fuss with it, don't worry about what I'm put on for primer, what I'm using for powder, just a workhorse. It's gorgeous. Yeah, what can I say? Another fave. A drugstore fave. And okay, I was looking back through my channel and my videos because I could have sworn I did a video on this, and I don't think I have, which means I definitely need to. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. L'Oreal Infallible 24-hour fresh wear. This is a great foundation. This rivals anything else I've talked about, and it's a drugstore price. I mean, you get a glass bottle, you get, a really messy pump. Not messy when you get it. Great foundation. Put it on with fingers, put it on with sponge, brush, whatever you like. It's gonna wear all day, looks fantastic. Fabulous foundation. And then panic set in because the other one I wanted to mention, I can't find. I'm sure it's stuck in a travel bag or something. It is the Benefit Cosmetics, come on, there we go, Hello Happy Soft Blur Foundation that I have in shade 4, wherever it's hiding. So I tore up my bathroom, I couldn't find it, which caused me great consternation. So I have to go looking through all my travel bags and find out where the heck that is. I traveled with this summer. Again, it's a foundation. It's never gonna let you down. You put on with your fingers, no problem. You know, over sunscreen, going out to dinner late, just touching up. It was such a trooper, such a workhorse. Love that one. So those are my top 5 foundations for 2019. I'm going to give a little caveat right now. Estee Lauder Double Wear, a mess, sorry, totally messy, my fault, in 2N2 Buff. This is not one of my favorite foundations. I really don't like this foundation at all. But what I do love, especially with my Stila and with my Pat McGrath. So if you remember from my video on the Stila, it took like 3 layers to build up the kind of coverage I wanted. And my one gripe with the Pat McGrath is it kind of never dried down and would still kind of be movable late into the day. If I take like 1/3 of a pump of the Estee Lauder Double Wear and combine it with either of those foundations, it turns these into magic. Oops, even upside down, magic. So, well, I cannot wear Double Wear on its own. It's too thick, it's too drying for me. A little bit with those 2 foundations, I'm just set for the day. Let's move on to concealers. Can I just say that I don't have a great relationship with concealers. Usually my lines would get accentuated under my eyes, which was not really my jam. And I am shooting very late in the day, so I'm not fresh like I usually am in the morning. But the concealers that work for me and my dry, wrinkly skin under my eyes, I almost hate to admit this to you. That's right. Do you recognize it? Jeffree Star. However you feel about him, the concealer works for me. I have the Peach Color Corrector. There we go. And then I have this shade C13. There we go. And sometimes I just use the color corrector, sometimes I just use the concealer, sometimes I use them both. They wear well, they cover well. Yeah, they perform on my skin the best. So, yep, Jeffree Star. But the other one I will say that I really have been going back to a lot lately, reaching for, and I'm developing kind of a love relationship with, is the Giorgio Armani, what do they call this? The Power Fabric concealer in shade 3.5. This is another great concealer that works well, doesn't get cakey, doesn't get crepey, get stuck in the lines on my eyes. So this is another one that I reach for when I want things to go right. Okay, foundation, short list of concealers, moving on to powders. My holy grail for finishing powder is the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores Pressed Powder. I love this powder. It is perfect for finishing. I like the pressed powder way better than the loose. I don't know why. I guess, there's a slight difference, I think, in the formulation because it has to be pressed. And as a finishing powder, it just smooths everything, gives it a little bit of a blur, just such a beautiful finish. Beautiful. Loving this. I recently ran out of my Lancome Long Time No Shine setting powder. That was the go-to for most of the year. I would have repurchased it, but I have several more setting powders that I need to work through before I can repurchase, but that was another really good one. And then there's one I don't really want to say. Do you recognize it? Do you know? Sisley. This is the Phyto Poudre Libre, if I remember my French from a long time ago. I have this in shade 1. Originally, I got this for setting under my eyes before I realized I can't set under my eyes. It doesn't matter what I use. If I set under my eyes, it's going to crease and look crepey and awful. And so when I used up my Lancome Long Time No Shine, I'm like, hey, I've got that really expensive Sisley powder, like $95. And of course, I've been loving it. Of course I have. Stupid expensive. Of course I love it. So that's a splurge. If you've got some Christmas money and you don't know what to do with it, Sicily powder. Kind of loving it. Okay, and then that's mostly face stuff, but there's one other thing that I want to give a shout out to. I have talked about this before. The Super Sponge. This is this silicone infused beauty blender sponge, and I think you can kind of see that the top of it is coated in silicone and the bottom is like a regular beauty blender sponge. And this is the sponge that you can use to apply product, and because the top is coated with silicone, it doesn't absorb the product. It all goes on your face where you want it. It saves you money. So, short and sweet, that's part one of my best of 2019. How about you? Let me know down below if you've got favorite foundations, powders, or concealers from this year. Thank you so much for joining me. I post every Monday and Thursday. If you have not subscribed, give me a Christmas present. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Have a fantastic day.